The Nile River cuts through the Great Sahara Desert like a knife, serving for millennia as the lifeblood of the Egyptian people. Hello and welcome. I'm Ian Lee, Inside Africa. This week we're in Egypt, sailing up the world's longest river. We'll make call at temples where pharaohs ruled with an iron fist and meet some characters along the way that can shed some light on this ancient civilization. The Nile River snakes over 6,800 kilometers from Lake Victoria in Tanzania to the Mediterranean Sea. But it's here in Egypt that witnessed the rise of the mightiest empire along its banks. We start our journey in Luxor. You might know it by its ancient name, Thebes. Present day, it's one of Egypt's main tourist hubs. Nile cruise ships crowd the shore, while those braving the cool morning mist take to the sky for a panoramic view. But thousands of years ago, this city was something else. Luxor is the city of palaces. This was the heart, the capital of the ancient Egyptian world. And Karnak Temple here is large, it's massive, it's impressive, but I know nothing about it, so I'm going to meet someone who does. Hi, Hala.
Hi, Jan.
So tell me about this place.
You are in Karnak. This is the largest religious complex of the ancient world. This was like a blank piece of paper where every king who ruled Egypt from the 11th dynasty to the 30th or 31st dynasty marked his name on it one way.
Egypt's ancient history plays out on the temple walls, telling stories of glory and betrayal. We'll get to those soon, but first, I gotta know, how did they build them so high? Walking in here today, I saw a construction crane doing some restoration work. They didn't have cranes thousands of years ago. How would they build something this massive?
Ramps, Jan. Yeah, ramps made out of mud, brick, and rubble. This was the way they lift up these giant blocks of stones all the way up to the high heights.
We can still see evidence of the ancient earthworks today. If these towering pillars look familiar, then you might be a James Bond fan. He chased the notorious supervillain Jaws through the hypostyle hall. Or perhaps you recognize them from the more recent Transformers movie. It's no wonder why Karnak appears in so many movies. It's the crown jewel of Luxor and a melting pot of languages, as tourists from around the world flock here to uncover the secrets of the pharaohs, some which are still being revealed today. Doctoral student of Egyptology Andrew Schilling from the University of Memphis in the United States carefully records the descriptions and colors while checking for damage. Painstaking but important work. Not all the damage is recent. Take this part of the wall, for example. It depicts one of the world's oldest family feuds. An angry son and rightful heir to the throne overthrew his pharaoh mother and ordered her hieroglyphic removed.
Ancient Egyptians believed images on these walls are going to come alive with certain magical spells in the afterlife, and erasing her like that means that she will never be able to come back again.
Untimely deaths are a theme in ancient Egypt, as we find out across the river, at Medinat Habu, or the mortuary temple of Ramses III. This pharaoh wore his problems on his sleeves, or rather walls. They tell of constant war with the sea people, and what happened to the prisoners would make anyone think twice about invading Egypt. Looking at this relief, there's a couple things that stand out to me. First of all, that guy doesn't look like he belongs in here. He doesn't look Egyptian, and his hands look like they're bound.
This was captured. They wanted to find out how many enemies they've captured, so they started first by cutting their hands, but then they found there was a major problem, right hands and left hands. So they went from hands to tongues and then to penises.
Ouch! Lesson learned. But that's the point. The reliefs served as the pharaoh's propaganda to the people, and even maybe a bit of a warning. Despite being over 3,000 years old, much of the vibrant colors remain. While Ramses III's temple brags about his might, it wouldn't save him from an assassination plot. His royal harem who lived here, including one of his wives, killed the pharaoh to put her son on the throne. Killing a god king doesn't go over well, and everyone involved was put to death. When pharaohs died, they took up residency in the Valley of the Kings. More than 60 pharaohs that we know of call this place home. In the Valley of the Kings, this tomb belonging to Ramses VI is considered one of the most beautiful. Unfortunately, tomb robbers got here before Egyptologists. While this tomb is beautiful, it looks like some of the items in it have seen better days.
Yeah, actually, grave robbers got here. We had several incidents of stealing from the Valley of Kings.
Hala tells me that looting is still a big problem. Since the 2011 Egyptian uprising that overthrew Hosni Mubarak, who some called a modern-day pharaoh, Egypt's historical sites have been under attack, and the illegal trade is booming. We end our time in Luxor at, well, fittingly named Luxor Temple. Today the site is sanctified by an early Christian church and a centuries-old mosque. But back in the pharaoh's day, Ramses III kept his harem here too, and made regular visits. I'll leave you with the sights of the temple, but when we come back, get ready to set sail.